let's discuss the instructional side of the game Tic-Tac-Toe. And first of all, I need to mention that the game is really short. That's because there are only 6 moves to play for each player and there are only 9 squares to choose from. And nonetheless, in each course with elementary students where I used it, there were quite a lot of mistakes. And you can see it just simply by results, because with perfect play the game will always end in a draw, but instead most of the games that where I used it there was a winner. And this I see actually as a potential to get the students to a higher level. The game is really reduced only on one single didactical point, and this is to start thinking for your opponent, so start calculating one move ahead. That's all the game does, and once it's finished and the students easily gets their draw, then we can continue and we can be assured that they got this level. So here are the game rules again, if you want to stop and read them. Otherwise, this is a picture of the game where I used it. If you want to use counters, this could be a starting position. It doesn't matter where you use the 3x3 square, you can put it in the middle or on any other edge. It's good for the students to be able to see all the pieces that's still in the game, so they can calculate ahead. That's the only thing that I'm keen on. And this is how it potentially could look like with chess pieces. So, what are the challenges for the students? And again, the goal is the students must learn to calculate actively one move ahead. And what they need to be starting to think about is instead of intuitively reacting to the position or to the move of your opponent, just stop briefly and stop thinking, what can I play? And also, if I do that move, how could the opponent react? And this is just the very beginning of a calculating tree, and this is, well, a good beginning. The typical pitfalls, I'll show you it with positions, looks like this. So these are the games from my students again, from schools, and now in this position, red can easily win the game. But instead what happened in this game is that red to move, he just saw the threat and used something on a3. I don't know what it wasn't a 3. And blue just took it and won the game, and that was it. Just a simple mistake, but with a huge outcome. And about the mistakes, we are expecting mistakes. That's the whole reason why we are playing this game. If we wouldn't expect any mistakes, then there would be no reason to play the game. Therefore, it's not the goal or the aim of students to be perfect, but instead it's our goal to make the mistakes happen and to learn from the mistakes. Therefore, the mistakes are a challenge, our potential, and not something bad. This is the next game, and here blue was thinking actually, and he saw there was a threat to lose the game, and he did see the point that if he put something of a less level value, red would be just winning the game. Therefore he decided to use the 3 and put it on a2, and the game continued, but it was a mistake still nevertheless, because there was a better move and it was to take the 2. Blue didn't spot this. Another mistake that's pretty easily avoidable, but has a huge impact on this game. In this position, it's red to play, and again the student was thinking ahead, and he did consider what will happen if he puts something of a lesser value on a b3. Therefore he decided to put his strongest piece on be free. Still, again, that's not the best move, because the best move would be actually to take this 2. And he didn't do this. In this position, it's pretty obvious that it is the best move, because it's the position is symmetrically. Whereas sometimes it's better not to take a piece on a white square, but put it on the corner for your winning chances. But in this situation, it was obvious that that was not the best move, and he was losing the next after the next move. For example, since blue can do anything and win, let's put it like this, and the game is won. And in this position, I do not know how the student reacted, but that's also a typical mistake that the students do, just reacting to the threats instead of really considering all the options. So the best move was obviously to take this 2 with your 3 and win the game, and instead what's usual occurrence is that you just notice that the opponent with his last move, let's say this one, he's threatening to win the game, and therefore you need to defend yourself. And this is a reactional thinking, more like intuitional, instead of really cognitive consideration. So back to the deck text. The goal is to have the students be playing perfect games, almost every single one, and I expect them not to be on this level, and therefore we need to bring them on the level, and preferably it's not about the game itself, it's about the methods that they can learn with this game. One other thing is the motivation, since compared to the other games that I will present in this course, this game had not much popularity for the students, and therefore it's also one of our goals to make them play the game at least, let's say, 1 hour, to get some progress done, even if they think the game is not as entertaining because it's really small and it's not spectacular. So finally, what's our job as instructors? First of all, what we need to get is analysis. So the students have to come up themselves with the idea that they need to analyze the moves. So the ideal situation is that a student will evaluate his options before he plays the move. If it's not possible, then at least after the game, preferably, we can maybe somehow make the students themselves analyze the game. It's not hard to remember because the game takes only 12 moves from both sides top. But if it's not possible, just analyze it with them and make them see the mistakes and try to ask them what's a better move. So it's not the goal to tell him this is your mistake, this is what you should have been doing, but instead let them think about it and came up with a better solution, and preferably so that it will teach them how to avoid this mistake in their next game, and then play another round and another round until they come to the level. One of the obstacles is obviously students, as in all strategical games, they only want to play and not reflect about their options, but that's why it's needed for us to make them think, so they take the benefit from this series rather than just playing and having fun. So about the error culture, it is about with them making mistakes. So we expect the mistakes to happen, and we don't want the students to be afraid of doing mistakes or admitting their mistakes. Instead, it's part of the learning process, so they have to see the mistakes, admit it, and overcome them. That's the main issue didactical wise. So we are not to criticize, also not to suggest better moves for them, but instead making them suggest better options for themselves, what was wrong, what should have been played, and why. If they don't come up with the process themselves, then we need to, well, make them do it. So just asking them, okay, you want to play this move? Great. Now think about what would happen if you do it. How could he react, and are you happy with it? And if not, if there's one option of these where you're not happy with it, maybe you should do another move to prevent this option. It's useful in chess, it's useful in life. It's just reduced on a really small board where the students can actually comprehend all possibilities. And finally, a main advantage of the game is the short duration, since for the game like draughts or chess, you need to be focusing for the whole game, maybe for hours, and try to not do any mistakes. Because these games are really short, it's not about the time that you need to be focused, but it's only the intensity. So the intensity is high as in chess and in some areas, but the duration is really short. So they don't need to have a lot of duration for thinking, but this game trains only the intensity. And once they reach the intensity level that we need, then we can focus on the duration with other games, for example draughts, where the games really takes up to 30 or 40 moves.